So this is an exciting day. My Carmona bonsai has arrived from Florida. I'm hoping that in spite of the fact that the label was very clear, this end up, that the FedEx guy hasn't destroyed it. So Kathryn, it has arrived in a box filled with styrofoam. Very environmentally friendly. I guess I'm going to be spending the next half an hour getting it out of here. Anyway, this is the top of the tree right here. Alright, I'll check back in with you in a few minutes. So this is the tree out of the box. It looks like being laid on its side didn't do it any harm. It's in good shape. Those are not flowers, that's styrofoam. It's actually a pretty nice tree, I have to say. Obviously it needs a lot of work, wiring. This is a training pot that it's in. I put the coffee cup there so you get a sense of the size of it. It's got to be a good 2, maybe 3 foot tall, which is really sweet. The eventual pot that it'll be in will be oval, but much shallower than that. I think I have it in a box over here, we'll see. So, one of the first things you decide on a tree is the front and the back. I believe that's the front. You're looking for a lot of trunk, you're looking for a lot of negative space. This tree actually needs a lot of pruning in this area right over here. A lot of shaping, a lot of wiring to create clouds, just to make it a little bit more like a old tree and less like a bush. But I think that's the front. Let's see what the other side looks like. Nope, I take it back. That's got to be the front right now. I don't know, we'll see. Time will tell. Got a lot of work to do on this thing, but I'm really pretty pleased with it. My concern when I saw it with the pictures was the base here. It doesn't have the greatest base that you've ever seen. You know, it's got quite a decent taper. If you look at the trunk, how it tapers down, getting thicker down to here. It's got some nice movement in it, some nice bend and curve. This is called an informal upright style. So it's upright, it's not symmetrical, so that's called an informal upright. It's one of the most popular styles because it's the one that most easily represents an old tree. See this branch down here? This all has to come up, has to get wired. This has to get separated. You want to create spaces between here. So this will be up, this will be down. Up here is a lot going on. We've got to thin a lot of that out. One nice thing about this tree is that it does have little flowers, which are really nice because they're in proportion to the size of the tree, which is not true of a lot of flowers on bonsai. So this, in Florida, is an outdoor tree exclusively. In New Jersey, that's not going to work because it won't withstand the winter, so it's going to spend the winters in the house and at least part of the summer outside, but most likely in a little bit of shade so it doesn't burn. I'm also noticing, I'm pretty sure this tree was grown in China in the ground, a field-grown tree, where they basically have rows and rows and rows of the same thing, and then over a course of 10 years they shape them by pruning. So this I don't think has been wired. When I look at the branches, I guess if you look up this way, there's a lot of straight branches in there. I don't see any marks on the trunk or the branches from wiring. Everything is pretty straight. I think this has been pruned into shape as opposed to wired and pruned. So that's going to be interesting. Not quite sure what we're going to do with this here, but this is going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to working on this. So Kathryn, I have done a pretty aggressive pruning. Basically what I've tried to do here is to show the trunk, make it look less like a bush and more like a tree. It seems a little harsh, But unless you see a significant amount of trunk, then it doesn't create that illusion of a tree. You want to see the taper coming up to the top. You want to see a lot of spaces through it. Once I get some more wire, I'm going to start to wire it pretty radically. This branch here doubles back on itself. It also comes from the back. Really ideally, and I think the front of this tree is here, not here, like it is in this pot. So I'm going to rotate it when I repot it. But basically, you want branches to come from outside curves. So here, here, and then where there's not a dramatic curve, it can come either way. This branch right here, I'm going to adjust with wire so that it comes down, like so. So it's not just pointing straight upwards, because up indicates youth, down indicates age. This branch here, which comes straight down, it actually split back there, which is kind of cool because that gives it character, right? But it's such a straight branch. If you look at it from this angle, you see how straight it is there? I want it to be a little more curved. So it obscures the trunk a little bit, but also obscures the straightness. So I'm going to curl it up that way a little bit. One of the main things you do when you trim bonsai is that you cut any leaves and branches that are hanging down. So if you can clean off the underside of a branch like this, so all the leaves are pointing upwards, that would be good. Nothing hanging down. Again, that makes it look old. And then I've really thinned out the top because you want to see that beautiful twisted bark as much as you can. So that's a side view. So what I'm going to do too, the longer I let this grow, right? If I just let it shoot out there for like 2 or 3 feet, it's going to thicken up from here down to here. So it's going to accentuate the taper. So this may ultimately just be cut off completely. So this will end up being the first branch. And if I turn it this way, you'll see the branch coming out of the trunk instead of coming out from behind the trunk like it is there. So this may come off. In the meantime, I might just wire it like that so it looks like it's all one branch, not doubling back on itself. But like I said, I might just, this is what we call a sacrificial branch. You basically let it grow because you know the impact that it's going to have on the taper at the bottom is going to be significant. So you want it to be as exaggerated as you can at the bottom. So basically, when I wire these, they're going to be wired down to create spaces so that they, when you see, you can see through them. And then ultimately, you want these to look like round paddles. Paddle here, paddle here, paddle here, of different sizes. But getting everything as flat as you can. I started to put a little wire on here. I need thicker wire for this piece right here. But basically what my plan here is to get this flat like so, maybe with a bit of a droop and then a slight curve upwards. It's pretty pliable. Anytime you see overlapping branches, that's a problem. So right here, where you basically got 3 branches coming out of one spot, and you see this overlapping, this goes down and under, this comes up and over. One of those has to go. It's going to be either this one is going to come off completely, or this one behind it is going to come off completely. And I haven't decided yet, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. But I'm really happy with it. I have to say, that is going to be an incredibly elegant tree in a couple of years when it's had a lot more work. When I repot it, I'm going to defoliate the whole thing. That basically means you pick off every single leaf. Or if you don't want to pick them off, you can actually get some scissors. I don't have my bonsai scissors here, but you would just do this. Where are we? And just cut the leaves really short, like this. And what that does, it helps to take some of the stress off the but it's a scary thought and it freaks people out. But what will happen is when they grow back, you're gonna have beautiful, shiny, brand new looking leaves. Look, that's me having trimmed this area right here. Where is it? Right there, see that? And then these guys can come off. You can either cut them off or pull them off. But I'm really happy with how this is looking. It's getting, or it has a nice triangular shape to it, and it's gonna be a lot of fun, this tree.